Hi, adiash73 here with this week's top 5. If you're new to watching my videos, then what I've done is I do a weekly vlog every Sunday. I do a gaming update vlog. There's an annotation coming in on by the window. I do a gaming heroes vlog that's coming in as well, and I also do a top 5. Now historically what I used to do was all 3 elements in one long video, but that last week I had a few problems with voice editing on there. Things went a bit weird, a bit astray. So this week, first time out, I've created a separate top 5 as a separate video, and you can be either watching this, you are either watching this as a standalone video, or you're watching it as part of my longer weekly gaming update extended video. So however you're watching it, I hope you enjoy it. If you are a regular viewer and you've already watched the other ones, then I'm sorry for repeating that, but you never know, someone new might be watching this, and I felt it's important just to take a couple of minutes, well, not even that, about a minute, to explain the premise and where we are this week. So what I do is every week I stick out a top 5, my personal top 5, my own opinion of various things. I've covered a whole range of topics, but this week, because I got to 200 played games, I thought, what top 5 can I do? I know, I'll do my top 5 games that I've played from the 200 that I've played so far. So I've not played a massive amount of games. There are plenty of people out there with far more played games than I've got, but I do tend to complete my games, so that does slow up the process. You know, I will work hard to get those last few achievements, and so that can take its time. So to celebrate 200 games played, my top 5 games that I've played, and what I've done is I've made sure to not include any racing games. You know, because I do play a hell of a lot of racing games. I've got about 67,000 gamer score. Of my 169,000 gamer score is racing games, so a high proportion, but there's still 100,000 gamer score of non-racing games, so there's a wide range to choose from. So these are in no particular order. I'll give the name and then I'll explain why it makes my top 5. Now the first one is Oblivion, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. Now the reason that makes it into my top 5 games is way many moons ago, when I still didn't have any hair, Oblivion was a game that I really got sucked into. It was before I got into gamer score, before I started, you know, went on a little spurt of playing easy games for points. I must have pumped in over 300 hours on Oblivion. I just was obsessed by it. And you know, I'd be going to work and I'd be thinking, right, when I get home then I can go to that little one, that one there, and that one. And that was just all I was thinking about for, you know, a month, was just Oblivion. It was just really sucked me into that world. So that has a lot of good memories, that game, and I wouldn't pump 300 hours into a game now. I play them for, you know, achievements, for fun, to complete it. But that game, because I wasn't into gamer score, because I wasn't into my leaderboard position and my ratio, I just let myself get into it, and that was really enjoyed it. So that will always have a special place in my heart. Next game is one that I found incredibly challenging, really pushed my gaming skill to the limit, and that's Mirror's Edge. Now I know it's not everyone's favourite game. It had a lot of hype when it came out, and then straight away the price dropped right down. And free running and a female lead character, you know, not everyone's cup of tea, but I really enjoyed it. And those speed runs, getting the 3 stars on each of those speed runs, that was hard for me. I really struggled. There was one speed run where you have to do the chapter, and that must have taken me all day, like 6 hours of run, restart, run, restart, run, and for 10G. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. You just invest so much time just to get one achievement, and the TA ratio on it is rubbish. But I say rubbish, it's good, but because it's only worth like 10G, it's not really worth a massive score. And there are loads of people out there that have completed the game and must find it easier than I did, but I struggled. I found that really hard, and the DLC on that was also very difficult. Obviously I stuck with it. I got back into it, and I focused, I worked hard, and I did get the full 1250 from the game, so I was very happy with that. So for a game that really pushed me to my limits in that type of game, yeah, Mirror's Edge stands out. So if anyone, there's a lot of people that might be watching this that were in the party when I was doing that, and this week in my TA feed someone said, oh, Ashley never swears, but yeah, bloody hell, I swore that time. I was inventing swear words. It was good, it was entertaining. Next game for me is a game that I played and I just really enjoyed. It's a game that a lot of people know, and it's the Orange Box. Now, first person shooter, not really my strongest area. I'm okay, I can hold my own, but I'm not fantastic. I'm not a world's best or anything like that. I can get by and I can play them, but really enjoyed it. I thought the story for the main game itself was very good. Obviously Half-Life 2 was very good. The weapon choices, the way that you use the weapons, it was all, I really enjoyed it. I found it quite tricky, quite enjoyable all the way through. And then you had the 2 extra games tucked on the top as well. Portal, the original Still Alive, which I highlighted before as a top 5, made my top 5 arcade games. Really enjoyed that. And then it was the Team Fortress, maybe, I'm not sure, but that other one, I wasn't too. It's not really my type of game. I don't really, online. It's not really my type of game. But I still enjoyed it, still played it, and got all 99 achievements in that one for the 1000G. So Orange Box, very good story. I particularly what I really liked about that game was carrying that flipping gnome all the way through the game. I mean, what a crazy achievement! That was, that was. By the end of him, I won't, no spoilers, but by the end of that game, I didn't want to get rid of that gnome. I didn't want to do what you have to do with him. I just wanted to keep on with holding him, And I know that the Avatar prop is quite popular, and I can understand why, because that little gnome got a place in my heart after carrying through that entire game. So yeah, the Orange Box, I really like that one. Now we'll move on to an obscure one. It's made my top 5. It's 1 versus 100, and the reason it made my top 5 is because that was a community event, and I met a lot of different people in there, and it was really an interesting concept that Microsoft done there. Someone posted recently that they should do that again, and I think they should do something similar again, because every night you took up with people and you'd be competing against other people, and you've got to have the lucky green. But yeah, as a community-based event, I thought that was really, really good. Made a lot of friends, and it was an enjoyable time. You'd have a lot of fun, a lot of laughs doing it. So, and that was just like a one little tiny moment in time. So yeah, that makes it, even though it's not the best game out there, it's more the experience and the emotions that the game has for me. That's why that made it. And the final one in my top 5 games is Gears of War #1, and the reason I picked that one is that, again, I made some very good friends playing that. I had a particularly good experience going through the campaign with 2 different people. Played it once with someone who I respect quite a lot, that's Big Dibs the dog, and we played it to get all the cogs and everything like that, and that was really good. Then played it again on the insane difficulty with Punky Liar, and that was really enjoyable, challenging, pushed me. She carried me through some bits, I carried her through less bits probably, and the final battle at the end was epic, and yeah, we were both cheering when we done it, and that was really, that was a really good experience. And the game itself, I don't play massive amount of shooters. I quite liked it. I can see why it's so popular and why they've gone on to do a 2 and a 3. The other thing is that the Seriously achievement, when I boosted that, again, there was a group of 8 of us that would meet up every Saturday, and we'd spend a few hours doing boosting every Saturday, and that was one of the best boosting experiences I've ever had. We had some really good banter, got to know some really nice and interesting people, and it became a really steady part of my weekly routine for a long period. So I really enjoyed that, and yeah, very, very good. So that was in my top 5 as well. So there we are, that's my top 5. Bit longer than I was expecting, because I've given myself the freedom to express a bit more rather than trying to condense it and squeeze it in on the end. If you want to suggest a top 5 for me, by all means drop me a message either in the comments below or on True Achievements or via Xbox Live, and I'll try and do something a bit more interesting. I do try and mix up the top 5s, so it's something different each week. And there we are. Thanks for watching, and take care. Bye bye.